Hello crafty people, and thank you for joining me on my channel today. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe if the video is helpful to you, but subscribing just helps me know that I'm creating enough content that you guys enjoy. So today what we are doing is we are looking at the Brother ScanNCut, and we are going to be unboxing a 900. So there are a couple of different versions of the ScanNCut, and they all pretty much do the same thing, just with a few different features. So the one that we're doing today, which is the 900, it has less cutting files than its brother or sister, the 1200 or the Disney range. The other differences is the screen size. So with the 900, it has a slightly smaller screen size to work with, but if I'm honest, it makes no difference to me because I tend to work a lot through Canvas Workspace, which is the free software which you can download onto your laptop or your tablet device to work with in conjunction or with your Brother ScanNCut. I absolutely love my machine. My 1200 at the moment is poorly, so has been sent away to Brother to be fixed. So I'm getting my 900 out to work with today. The other things that I would like to share with you is that if you have a different machine to the 900, say you've got the SDX900 or the Disney range, what we're going to do today is exactly the same with each one of these machines. That's what makes it so user-friendly. So the same functions, the same options are there. So you will recognize those same icons throughout the machines that you use. The only different machine which will be different to this is the CM range, and the CM range is different to the SDX range because it doesn't have that auto blade function. And this is what sets the Brother ScanNCut apart from other cutting machines, is that auto blade function, as well as the scanning function, which no other machine does either. So for me, that's why the Brother ScanNCut is a choice of what I work with. I think I've gone for everything I want to, so I will start unboxing. So before I start plugging it in, let's just have a look at all the other bits that I've got in the machine. So I've got the machine itself. I've got a little box here that has the cable, the power cable. I also have a box here which has your kind of how-to guide and a beginner's project to try if you're new to the machine. So you get this booklet with information on the files, how to use it up and set it up for the first time. And it also has more kind of in-depth information for those that want some really fun bedtime reading. But it also tells you like the different sizes of mat it takes, what blade to use, and your other kind of important information. So I'm going to pop that back in my box so I don't lose it. The same with this one, back in the box so I don't lose it. I'm going to need the cable, and I also have, so with this machine bundle that I got 2 mats. I shall double check what mats I've got because sometimes the bundles are different. I'm not sure if I got a low tack and a standard. I got 2 standard cutting mats, so they're the purple ones. I got 2 of those, and then you have a piece of cardstock in this shiny a metallic finish for your first beginner's project, and we will do that. So let's pop that over to one side and let's just get into the machine. Okay, so this is the machine. This is the SDX900. Let's just get it out of the plastic wrap. The same with all of the SDX range. It has this really useful lifting feature for the screen, or you can keep it down. So don't worry about that clicking noise, that is normal. Also, if we open her up, we have just the information about the rollers and stuff at the moment that we will have to just make sure that they're in place when we load our mat. And look, you can see this is brand new because I've got all the cardboard bits in here. So let's pop this out. Now in these trays is where I should find my blade that comes with the machine. So let's lift this little sticker off and see what we have. So in my little pouch I have a stylus, a little lifting tool or rubbing tool, and I have a blade. Now there should be a blade inside it. Let's hope. Yep, so I've got my very first blade in with my package. These are really useful storage containers, so I'm just going to pop these back in here so I don't lose them, so I can keep them with my machine. So my storage is in here. I'll actually need the blade because we're going to do some cutting, so let's pop that back out. And we can keep the rest of that in there for now. And that just pops into the little holder with this little latch, and I pop it down and that is in place. So next we need to attach this to the mains. So I'm going to plug in the plug into my plug socket and into the back of the machine, which is located just here. Before I do so, there is a few bits of tape that we have to remove. So this little portion at the back is just a little lip for your mat to sit on, and it pulls out really simply by just taking that, pulling out. That is as far as it goes, so don't worry about the rest of it doesn't pop out. It's just that far for when your mat is coming through the back of the machine, it's still held up to a certain extent. Right, let's plug it in. Okay, so my machine is plugged into the mains. I'm just going to push the on button, and as that's switching itself on, let's just have a look at these buttons by the side. So this is your home button to get you back to your home page. The waffle, which is actually the loading the mat on and off of your machine. I just think it looks like a waffle. And then your pause and start button. So if you want to pause the machine for any reason, you can do so. Now at the moment, the machine is just going through its beginning kind of opening page. Now you can switch that off, and I'm going to show you how to, because you don't need to see this every time you turn on your machine. So I'm going to click that to go past it. The machine is just going to move the carriage into place, that's with the blade, and then we can look at the actual screen. So my machine is connected to the internet. Like I said, I have, well, I haven't said, but what I have done, I have already inputted my password for my Canvas workspace and my internet, but I'll show you where to find them. My machine is ready for an update, so after this I will update my machine. We have our patterns, scanning, we've got retrieve data, test cutting. This little icon in this in the corner is our settings, but I'm going to move across first. So our roller feed, so if you do vinyl cutting on a roll, you have the option to do that. Now these are items that haven't been activated yet, so your machine can do more if you purchase more add-ons, and you will be able to locate or see them here once you've purchased those and added them to your Canvas workspace or your machine, as well as collections. So if you want to get a Disney collection or one of the other collections that Brother ScanNCut actually offer, you will be able to access them here. Although what I prefer to do is I actually put them onto my Canvas workspace and not tied just to one machine, just in case, like my Brother ScanNCut 1200 is poorly and has to be sent away to be fixed. So I'm just going to click back. We're going to go into our little icon here so you can see the settings, so you can set up the machine how you wish it to be. Now you have options of language, units. So for me, I like to work in inches, so I'm going to turn that over to the inches. Also cutting area, so if you're using a 12 by 12 or 12 by 24 mat. We also have our speed, our pressure, but for me, I leave these on auto for the machine to choose which is best. With the speed, I can put that up or down as I wish. Cutting allowance, so if you If you are cutting something and you need a certain allowance, you can adjust that here. We have our half cut, so if you like to work in vinyl, then you are able to do a half cut so that your project is still on the carrier sheet and not gone through that. You can adjust that half cut pressure just in case it's not quite enough or it's too much. If we go down, there's the drawing options of the pressure and the cut, which we just seen, and then seam allowance. So if you are cutting in fabric and you want to add an allowance to it, you are able to do so too, or your fill. So for instance, if you're drawing, you can choose patterns to actually colour in, or you know, colour in the lines of your item that you are cutting out. So for instance, if you do a circle and you can put some squares in it or a different geometric shape, or colour it in completely, you have that option to work with too, which is kind of cool and a little bit different. Let's go down. Now these are the ones that are quite important for me. So auto shutdown, so if for instance I haven't touched my machine for an hour, it will turn itself off, which means that I am not wasting electricity. I have the option to turn the beep off, which I will because it drives me insane, personally. Some people like it, some people love it, hate it. Words. Now we have our opening screen, so that screen that we saw with those projects, we can turn that off just in case you don't want to see it every time. We've got our blade adjustment or cutting scanning adjustment, so if you need to adjust yours for any reason, it shows you how to do so in that section. We've got our machine number, machine information in these folders ready for you to use. We've got our network, so when you want to connect to the internet, then you can go into your setup and be able to connect your Wi-Fi to your machine. And then Canvas Workspace, I've already registered my machine with Canvas Workspace, so I know that I can transfer information from my computer to my machine via Canvas very easily. So these are all the like really in-depth pieces that we can use to tailor our machine to us. Also a couple of the premium functions. So I mentioned about kits. You were able to add those kits into your machine and have those functions ready for you to use as and when you wish. Now we've gone through everything here except for, let's have a look at those patterns quickly so you can see a little taster of what you're getting. So we've got our basic patterns, so you've got your squares, circles, ovals, all those different ones, but then there are some slightly different ones as well, which you can weld together to make different shapes if you want to, or use them alone to make different quilting blocks, for instance, if you like to do so. But we've got some lovely shapes that can be used for so many different projects, like the stars, for instance, and the hearts. So lots to work with within this file. So let's go to our more in-depth shapes. So let's just have a look in one of these. So we've got flowers and snowflakes. We've also got the earth and the sun, some leaves and trees, lots of different kind of fauna to work with. Let's have a quick look in this one down here. So in here we have some scrapbooking layouts. So if you like to do a bit of scrapbooking and you want a layout to add photos in, or journal items, words and so on, you can do so in this section. You can get that and cut those out as much as you want. So we've got like different themes in here. So we've got some animals, we've got our star signs. Moving on, we've got like travel. Just as you can see, in each folder there is something a little bit different. I won't go into every single one of them unless you guys request me to. So if you do want to, just leave a comment in the box below. But what I do want to show you is this one here. This is our little gift boxes. Now in this folder there are 2 gift boxes, and this is the one which is in the beginner's project. So we're going to be using this one later on. So you can see how easy it is to locate that. Now we have got some inspirational words to work with. So really nice kind of project words to work with, already kind of welded together or created for you to add to your project. We have borders, and in our borders we've got lots of different borders which you can weld together or leave as they are. But if you want to create a score line on a project, so for instance a card base, there is this line here which that creates the score line. So it's the little dash dash dash, and that creates your score line for you. Now we have alphabets, and in the alphabet there are 7 options of alphabet, so you can add your words, create whatever it is that you want to. We have a drawing section, so these items are fully like foiling or drawing. I use this one for instance to create some hand embroidery pieces. It's really lovely. One more box down is we have quilting. So if you're into quilting, there are several different quilting blocks for you to try out, which will be, you know, really good fun, as they are pre-done. You don't have to worry about it, you just cut it out and work with it as you wish. Now, so we've done our patterns, we've done, let's go into our scanning options. So let's just have a quick look at the 3 scanning options in front of us, and we'll get to the last one there. So we've got direct cut, so that is directly from the machine. So you scan your item in, say you've stamped out several items onto a sheet of cardstock, popped it onto your cutting mat, fed it into the machine, and then you can cut it out directly. That does not save that image detail or cutting file. It is just like a one-use cut. Now if you want to keep it, say for instance something you want to cut out several times, then you can do the scan to cut data, so that saves it as a cutting file onto your machine. You've got scan to USB, so the same, you can scan it, create your cutting file, and then save it to your USB instead. And then you've got transfer to Canvas workspace. So if you want to transfer an item that you're using as a cutting file or creating as a cutting file, then you can do so. Transfer that to Canvas, which is really useful too. So then in here is the retrieve data. This is, I use this so much. So each icon does something different, so this is quite self-explanatory to be fair. So this one here, which looks like your scan and cut, is the information that is stored on the actual machine. This one is the information that you are retrieving from the computer, so you send it over from your Canvas workspace, click on this one, and then it will retrieve that information for you to work with. Information stored on a USB, very self-explanatory because it's got the USB there. So if you want to access a USB which you've plugged into the side of your machine, you can. If you want to, you can actually do a feed straight from your computer to the machine. If you have a USB port to port cable, you are able to then transfer that information between those 2 devices, which is really cool. So there are lots to work with. We've got all those inbuilt patterns. We can scan stuff and save that if we want to. We can retrieve our data from our Canvas workspace or from USBs, depending how you like to work what you've got. If you want to do a test cut, you can. If you want to change your settings, you can. So we've looked at the roll feature and so on. So that are all the features that are available on this machine. But let's quickly navigate our way to that actual project piece. So we've gone into the inbuilt files. We're going to go to that more in-depth files, down to that actual box, which is the second one. I'm going to take that to the mat. Now what I can do is, if I wanted to resize that, I can, but we're not going to go into that in this video. I'm going to OK that. I'm going to select cut, and in just a second I'm going to set up so I can actually cut that item. Okay, so what I've done, you can't really see me, but you can see the mat. I've just taken the protective layer off my mat, and then I'm going to take that piece of cardstock. Now, because this is a brand new mat, I do not need to go crazy on actually pushing it down into onto my mat, because the mat is fairly, well, I say fairly, it's super sticky at this point. After you've used it quite a few times, the mat is less sticky. So I'm literally just going to finger press that down, literally just running my fingers over it because it does not need to be pressed. I'm going to open up my little tray, then I'm going to press. Let's switch you over so you can see what I'm pressing and doing. I'm lining up my mat on these 2 lines here, which is your guide. There's these 2 little lips, lining it up on there, and then I'm going to press what looks like the waffle, but it is actually the guide. So we've added our cut-off stock to our mat. We've got the machine loaded. So here is the little project book to tell you how to do it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the little project. So it takes you step by step, where to locate things, how to find the item. So I showed you how to find it earlier. So let's go and find that item, and then we can actually cut the project. Okay, so that's done. So I'm going to unload the machine. I'm going to close this up. It's okay, that's all finished. I'm going to just move my machine out of the way for a second. Oh, sorry, the head's getting in the way. And just bring the mat in. So now it's cut. It looks like it's cut beautifully, which is nice. I'm going to just lift my mat up, give it a little bend. And I do that because I think it's better to bend the mat than it is the cardstock. So I'm just going to peel that away. So that is the leftovers of that. I could use for another project if I so wish to. And then we have our box. Now I will scrape these off in a second, but I don't need to do that right now. So with the box, really simple. What the machine's done is it has cut some score lines for us along this bottom square. It's cut 2 slits out for us. It's cut the crown really nicely, and also it has cut some score lines for the crown. So I'm just going to fold those over, and then we will fold our middles in. Like so. Now I haven't had to use a scoring tool or anything to kind of do that. Literally I could just do it with my fingers. So then we take one through there, and then we poke the other 2 through there. And there we have our first project with our scan and cut. Really simple, really easy, and really fun to do. So let's flip you around, and I can pop that to one side. So guys, there is our little gift box finished. Really quick and simple. If you want to, you can resize it, but that we do resizing in the next and all of those things in another video. I hope you've enjoyed going through the unboxing of an SDX900. Now for any other of the SDX range, it is exactly the same. You follow the same processes, the same steps, and even has the same project for your beginner's project. So if you haven't got your machine out the box, please do your beginner's project. You'll see how easy it is to use, how simple it is for you to get more from your machine. It is, I mean, honestly it is, guys. So if you have any questions at all, please drop me a message in either the comments below, or you can directly message me through my website www.craftykelly.co.uk, or my Facebook page at Crafty Kellyanne Jordan. So you can find me there for any kind of hints, tips or advice. I'm happy to help as well as I can. But you know, it's such a lovely machine to use and so easy that I would love for you to show me your projects, what you're creating, and I will see you all in the next video. So today I'm signing off as Crafty Kellyanne Jordan. Thank you very much for joining me for unboxing of the Brother ScanNCut, one of my favourite cutting machines. I will see you later. Take care now, guys. Bye.